the infusion of innovative technologies, best practices in urban planning, and socioeconomic programs tailored to address the complex needs of these areas. I hope the details I share about our activities were helpful, and I'm interested in learning about more examples. Again, thank you for inviting, and my best regards to all of you. I have to leave you, unfortunately, but if you have any questions regarding the project.
No worries, Paula. We understand you're very busy. Thank you.
My colleagues, in any case, are available in case to answer any questions that.
Yes, perfect. So if anyone has questions, you can write in the chat. We will come to them as soon as we have heard from all of the speakers. I wanted to double check if Stefano Bueri was with us. I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Maura, Stefano's assistant. So it's coming 1 minute because we are very late and it just left 2 minutes. But I'm coming to call him.
Okay, no worries. Because
the next one.
If you can call him now, because we are slightly late on schedule, so
sure.
we'll wait a second. In the meanwhile, I would invite here on the floor for those who are present, Yaroslav Melech. Yaroslav. Okay, he hasn't come yet. And Yulia Chufistova, are you with us? Yeah, here at COP, just to give an idea, there are like tens of events going at the same going on at the same time with like a huge number of people. Okay, she's online. Perfect. Okay, you will be next. Now the floor to Stefano Bueri. I ask you please to stay in the time limits because we are very we have a short time. So the floor to you, Stefano.
Thank you so much. Just a few words. As you know, well, we have been asked several times in recent weeks how it was possible with a terrible and dramatic war still underway to talk about reconstruction today. Not how is possible while Russian aggression continues to talk about the reconstruction of cities, public space, historical monuments destroyed by the incessant Russian bombing. But well, I think that the response that we are trying to do is very simple. That planning the reconstruction of a city, of the space of a community, is not just one of the ways to continue to support the reason and the hopes of a country injustly attacked. I think that thinking and planning together with Ukrainian urban planners, architects, and administrators, the reconstruction of their cities is not just a way to imagine a new future for thousands and thousands of citizens today forced to resist Russian aggression with weapons, to force themselves to continue to live a normal life under the threat of bombing. Thinking today with the war underway about how to rebuild Ukrainian cities means much more. And I love to quote, you remember probably Winston Churchill in the difficult weeks of the Nazis bombing London, was speaking at the House of Lords saying, well, we shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us. Well, I think that in this world, we can still today discover the courage and strength of a reconstruction that is both social and spatial, spiritual and environmental. And it's really a regenerative reconstruction, so that Ukraine that will be reborn after the war, Odessa, Irpin, Kyiv, and other cities that will be reborn after the war cannot only be the same ones we knew before the Russian aggression, but even cities and better country, even more extraordinary and welcoming, open, cosmopolitan, very rich in their tradition and their architecture. So I think that what we have started to do in Odessa, which is, as you know, an amazing, bright and poignant city, open to the world, the cosmopolitan, with Triennale, with Maxi Roma, trying to be supportive in the reconstruction of the Cathedral of Transfiguration and other architecture hit by Russian bombs goes in that direction. And I think it's this cathedral is a symbol of a city open to the war, and this is why we will continue to present all what we are doing in order to defend its history, but it is also our history, the history of European cities. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Stefano, for sharing your experience, the experience of many Italians, and especially with a view on Odessa, and also for dedicating us the time. Next, we have on the speakers list, so we had to reshuffle a bit because of the timing, but I would give the floor next to, sorry, just a second. We have Yulia Chufistova from CEO of Mayor's Club, and I would ask very briefly to share your remarks on the importance of intercity cooperation at local level. So we have heard from UN partners, we have heard the experience of one city, we have heard what some international stakeholders are doing like Stefano, and we will hear next from Borodyanka experience. But I first want to hear from you, what is the most important and why is intercity cooperation important in this scenario? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for this invitation. It's an honor to be here and present Mayor's Club. And this is really very important, this kind of cooperation. Irpin is the best team of reconstruction of Ukraine for now. And we share this experience between our members. We already had the online event, and it has a huge interest through our members. We have almost 600 members now, mayors, and everybody asks us what is the secret, how they do it. And the secret is it's a cooperation, it's international cooperation, and inside Ukraine too. And I hope this team will help us, and we will have together projects in Ukraine, and we will help another municipalities and other mayors. And the mayor of Irpin, it's the best for us example, and we're happy to share this experience. And please, I'm here to help and support you.
Thank you, Yulia, for answering. I'm sorry, I know also Borodyanka is here on the list, but we have here Yaroslav Melech, who would continue sharing an experience of some other international stakeholders. He's a research fellow at Bartlett School of Environment, Energy and Resources at the University College London, and he was previously working at the Swedish International Development Agency, and he will share very briefly, please, your experience with international cooperation, especially on the infrastructure projects. You have the floor. Come here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's quite a broad question, but just to say briefly how international donors work and their approaches during the wartime. So I think when the full-scale invasion broke, I think that was quite a big shock to many donors. And the question was for those who had their development cooperation with Ukraine or reform cooperation, was a quick response how to change the strategy. So in case of Sweden, we used HDP Nexus, which is an OECD framework, which is human development and peace framework, whereby we basically had to create metrics and decide how we would allocate different resources developing depending on the needs of the country. So of course, our first priority was humanitarian response, and from infrastructure point of view, we put our efforts on municipal infrastructure to provide energy efficiency, humanitarian needs, So we work closely with NEFCO, a Nordic Development Bank, and IBRD to repurpose those funds to having a huge influx in Western Ukraine of displaced people. These were the priorities, but as time passed, I think the banks starting putting together a pipeline of projects which would serve mid to long-term needs. And basically working closely with municipalities. I think one of advantages for us was that banks, for example, as NEFCO, they have worked in Ukraine for more than 20 years, and they had a very good network of working with municipalities in small towns and middle towns. I think that's really important. If you have trust and you can cooperate very good and build this pipeline of project very fast, I think that's really, really important, because I think when you have humanitarian crisis, you need to have very good response. The second issue is our work on energy infrastructure. We work with World Bank to provide some support for energy infrastructure needs. And despite those needs, I think one of the issues we also look in our risk assessment was carbon lock-in. So we had basically a trade-off between providing immediate energy response like diesel generators, but at the same time we didn't want to provide too much equipment which would then serve as carbon lock-in for country for many decades. So I think we need to have a tailored approach. We need to make very clear differences between short-term and middle and long-term. And I think the role of Development Bank is also very instrumental, because they have been working for many, many years in Ukraine. Of course, we also had some cooperation with UNDP, especially on European, and there was supposed to be a pilot project on nature-based solutions for some residential buildings in Irpin, and we work together. We have today Victoria and her former colleague Alexander. We work on this, but I think there is also, for donors, there is also a matter of efficiency and established work frameworks. And in our case, it was more efficient to work with development banks. But at the same time, we think in case of European, it's useful to have partners like UNDP that can come on the ground and do more like in-depth analysis, needs assessment to what can be done. And I think going forward for urban infrastructure, it's already important now not to build what's happened before. I know everyone talks about that, but I think it's very important to also embrace things like urban nature-based solutions. When we do that, it could be very cheap, very long-hanging fruit, but I think we need to have this systems approach and system thinking.
Well, thank you. That was very deep. You were touching very different topics and with some key messages. It's very interesting to see that actually the problems and often also the solutions are similar amongst different projects. We have heard about the importance of trust, of transparency for international stakeholders, so they know that what they are doing is actually impactful. So we thank you for sharing your view and your experience. Now, passing again online, we have two other speakers. So we have Paolo Cucchi, who has been actively working on Borodyanka, and then we have also the current mayor of Borodyanka. So I'll start first giving the floor to Paolo, so that we can have later also a comment from the city administration with also some remarks on how do you see the way forward. So what do you expect coming in the next months and in the future in the city and also in general in Ukraine? The floor is yours, Paolo. If you want to share the screen, you should be able to do so.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon to everyone. And thanks for the honor to be part of this event. With my studio, PC Architecture, in collaboration with the multidisciplinary team of planners, sustainability engineer, and administration of Borodyanka, we are working on one of the Ukrainian most severely affected towns by the Russian aggression, in the attempt to help people in times of great uncertainty to continue to live or return to their houses with more confidence in the future. Borodyanka, born as a small rural settlement from the food reserve status to alternating and painful event after the period of the Holocaust collective production, has gradually achieved with the indomitable aspiration for freedom its own independence. Classified in 1957 as a urban-type settlement, it recorded over the years a notable growth, never losing its fundamental identifying character of the rural village. Our vision drawn upon these premises and the analysis of the geoclimatic context, natural resources and potentiality proposes a sustainable socio-economic development program that centered on the ethos of sustainability and respect of the historical legacy of the place, blended with contemporary technological innovation, will drive to production expansion, higher rate of employment, significantly improving living standard and strengthening collaboration and connectivity. Projected toward the generational time frame, our recovery plan intends to encourage especially young families to continue or start a new activity in a renovating green familiar environment. In this slide, I highlighted the 5 projects that we are working on. But to implement the program, we selected a flat empty plot of approximately 113 acres, a green corridor separating 2 settlements determined over time by transport facility. The parcel following the grid road network on organic continuity with existing morphological spectacular pattern of the territory, a tapestry of agricultural fields interwoven with residential, provides, due to the strategic location, an ideal background for developing the model of a vibrant mixed-use eco-district, nourished by a sort of mutual cross-pollination between living and working conditions, in proximity and in concert with nature. The 2 parts conceived as complementary and interconnected segments ensure the life-sustaining metabolism of the nucleus. High performance target and the human-centric aspiration has shaped the contemporary hybridization of this multiple use of land. 55 acres dedicated to residential use, terrace houses, and multi-level buildings, with multifunctional common courtyard, vegetated vertical wall, terraces of roof, complemented by social and primary necessity services, exuberant green, car-free context, interact with the other adjacent productive 58 acres intended for an agrotechnopark. A large forested central spine, 16 as a connector of the park and important community moment, runs along the site, encouraging recreative time outdoors, encounter and easy socialization. The agrotechnopark, interpreting the vital relation of the resources of the land, combine production, manufacturing, and research in the forward-looking perspective of technological and productive all-around sustainable renewal. A meaningful dialogue between community and scientific research, tradition, and innovation will orientate along a common path toward the new resources and solutions. The area characterized by a set of office, laboratory, small and medium manufacturing company in coexistence with agricultural production, greenhouse, and community gardens. We see a close collaboration with the university, the local agricultural school, and the students, creating additional opportunity for the new investment and new jobs. The lot, benefiting from the arterial road E373 on the international trade route Kiev-Warsaw, and delimiting one of its sides, and the other contiguous road connecting with a nearby private airport, will have the potential, with the further crucial logistic support of a new cargo airport, to fuel an effective, significant economic commercial growth, expanding border and trade flow. The project, in terms of best practice of sustainability, we think could be adopted as a recovery master plan for other Ukrainian reality, which present close affinity with Borodjanka City. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. I think this is very valuable. And also I want to remind that these projects from Borodjanka, as well as some others from Irpin, will be under the UN for Ukrainian Cities investment tracker. This is very interesting, in my opinion, because we see that different projects, different people are coming together, and at the end we are all serving one. We are all serving Ukraine and its effort to rebuild and reconstruct in the best way possible. So thank you again, Paolo, and I would invite next So I'm sorry, but I'm very bad with names, and you have probably noticed this. So just a second, I'm very sorry. Okay, the last on our speakers list, again, to comment and also share their position on what has been done by Paolo Cook and its team. It's Irina Zakharchenko. I'm sorry, but I don't remember names, and I couldn't find it on the list, so I'm very sorry. Next is Irina Zakharchenko, the acting head of the Borodyanka Village Council. Can you hear us? Irina, ви чуєте нас? Добре, поки Ірина підключається, so in the meanwhile that Irina connects its audio, because I can see that Dmitro is here with us, but we are waiting for Irina. But in the meanwhile, I would invite everyone to ask questions if you have, or write comments. Maybe you have observations. Maybe there's something you wanted to comment on. So feel free to do so in the comments, or if anyone of those who are present here want to comment. Sure. Can we open the comments to see? А ну, попитай, Ірина. So if you go, so there are some other municipalities as well. Oh, yes, we can hear you now. You can speak in, if you can speak loudly, because we have some audio problems, so I will be translating you. And the floor is yours, Irina Zakharchenko, the acting head of Borodyanka.
Так, вітаю, колеги, доброго дня, дуже рада всіх бачити. Вибачте, будь ласка, за технічну помилку, не могли ми налаштуватися, у нас дуже поганий зв'язок, на жаль, до сих пір ще в будівлі в нашій, вона зараз іде капітальний ремонт. Я дуже коротко хочу повідомити, по-перше, хочу подякувати всім за всю участь, ту, що ви приймаєте, яку ви робите для нашої такої зруйнованої дуже Бородянки. Станом у нас ж на сьогодні відновлено всього невелика кількість об'єктів. Ми плануємо форум, присвячений розвитку нашої відбудови Бородянки на 16 грудня цього року. Буде дуже, ми розійшлемо запрошення всім учасникам, яких будемо дуже раді бачити. Проекти щодо відновлення підготували мої колеги. Ви вже побачили проєкт по побудові аеропорту. Я дуже вдячна. Це шикарний проєкт, шикарна розробка. І сподіваюся, що ми втілимо її в життя з вашою допомогою. І я дуже погано просто чула перед цим, я зрозуміла суть, але дуже погано чула перед цим просто доповідача, але я знаю все, що ви для нас зробили, тому прошу моїх колег зараз зробити презентацію, все, що ми плануємо відбудовувати і будувати нове в нашій громаді.
Я зараз вас перекладу, і so Irina was saying that, well, she's sorry, but in Ukraine, in the office, there were some technical problems, so she's sorry for being slightly late. She is also very thankful for all the work that has been done for Borodyanka. She has recently initiated in her position, and she is very thankful for the team that has been working on Borodyanka recovery and reconstruction. So now they will be presenting and showing some of their work and sharing some more materials. Я коректно зрозумів, що ви зараз виведете презентацію, правильно?
Так.
Вибачте, тоді добре. So she was again, she was thanking the team who's been working on Borodyanka and willing to further elaborate this work in order to operationalize and put it actually in place. I think that I don't know if there's any comment from people. Otherwise, with 15 minutes of delay, again, sorry for being a bit long on the schedule. We are very thankful for all of the speakers for sharing some very useful information on the way forward. Well, I think it's all for today, and see you all on different projects helping Ukraine restore and recover as sustainably as possible for the longer run. Thank you again, and have a nice day.
Да, гарного дня.